You. Yes, you. The masochistic person who, like me, is willing to submit yourself to the emotional and mental abuse of Bungie's crucible for the sake of grasping at what thin shreds of hope we have for this PvP experience finally metamorphosizing into the butterfly we were promised so many seasons ago. All the while knowing in the back of our minds that this is nothing but a rose-tinted pipe dream and that nothing but the existential fear of the march of time can drown out the nagging in the back of your minds that maybe we could exist outside of this torture. No. You clicked on this video because you want to believe there is hope. You are willing to allow me to, for about 8 to 10 minutes, distract your troubles away like a jug of verbal moonshine fitted into the mug of off-meta weapons. We both know the vindication that will be a pleasure to us when we finally see the words, "The Immortal" was finally nerfed. And we may yet again attempt to arm ourselves with utilities for the brief period of time and enjoy a slim quality of euphoria for our weird and unusual weapons. Yes, you, the bravest and strongest-willed. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. You are the reason we keep going. The reason I have hope despite the outward signs. The hope that humanity can overcome humanity. That the love of creative fun can overcome sheer optimization for a score screen's sake. That off-meta can have a place right alongside sweating. Now, let's get a little stupid. Builds. Some of our creation, some of livestream creations. Our starting build is one of my own imagination that plays heavily into movement and a blitzkrieg playstyle. The Mask of Bacchus, just like any movement-based exotic, will always have a place in the game with the right player possessing the right skill set. I combined this ankle-breaking face mask with the severely underappreciated Edge of Concurrence. Yes, this exotic glaive. If you don't like glaives, I would suggest an SMG, but that would make you boring. This glaive is more readily available because of the latest patches, and because of its faster-firing 80 RPM frame, it allows us to secure kills at the same pace as a 140 hand cannon. With the two of these, we can use the backers to close the gap, or to cross up an aggressive player, which sets us up for the perfect distance to shoot them with our stick shot. To guarantee our opponent's ankles are shattered like glass, we are running the aspect Winter Shroud, slowing our opponents down, and generally disrupting their vision. To ensure they are sufficiently pacified while we cut them down, we use the fragment Whisper of Durance for longer slows. For our primary, as you might be able to see, we are using a rapid-fire framed auto rifle. I hear the Rufus's Fury is quite powerful, but for me, I have settled with the Chroma Rush with tap the trigger and moving target. I didn't expect this auto rifle archetype to surprise me as much as it did. Extremely consistent time to kill, with a respectable range. You won't outgun the ever-dominant Immortal in CQC, but you stand a fair shot at slightly further ranges. Another key strategy to my success is the cold snap grenades. Besides the obvious death sentence of being frozen, I use their immobile body to get easy access to my glaive energy, which I am getting more of from 2 Lucent Blade mods on my chest. I am also giving myself bonus stats with Whisper of Hedrons and more grenade and class ability regeneration from Whisper of Torment, Grenade Kickstart, and 2 Utility Kickstart mods. The rest is standard fill-in-the-blank mods for unflinching, targeting, and dexterity as you wish. I really like this build. I will rate it 13 Colonel Sanders out of 4 Taco Bell. I don't get this rating system at all. This next build is from livestream chat after they made the frightening discovery that Siva is just red-colored strand. While the Outbreak Perfected isn't completely unseen in the current sandbox, it still is dwarfed in usage rates, and as mentioned from the striking similarity between Siva's behavior and Strand's Unravel effect, is too good to pass up. We are running this Warlock on a rather standard setup, with threadlings of Thread of Continuity for increased Strand effect durations, Evolution for improved threadlings, Generation for more grenade uptime, and a very clever pick by the designer of Warding for Woven Mail on Orb of Light pickup. Normally, I would not advise this last fragment due to how infrequently Warlocks will generate orbs compared to Hunters with their Dodge and Reaper mods on the class item, but, very cheekily, we are using this with the Stag. This stag grants us class ability energy when we take damage, and grants us a small amount of damage resist while standing inside our rifts. This means we get more threadling rifts more often and more access to woven mail, which stacks damage resist with the stag. Playing this on the new Iron Banner game mode was a perfect testbed, as many targets are willing to engage you on defense, allowing you full access to your rift while still chipping damage with the threadlings. I didn't stress on my armor mods too hard, besides the Reaper mod and the utility kickstart mod, just like the last build. I really like this build, and I give it the official TDT stamp of approval for spiciness. While going over this script, I noticed a distinct lack of Titan representation, so this one is for you. This build started with a question: does Lord of Wolves still suck? The answer, of course, is yes. But, ignoring that, the rest of the build is absolutely worth your time. We are running a Fusion Grenade Ashen Wake build, which is an exotic gauntlet that causes our fusion grenades to explode on impact and regenerate full grenade energy on kills. Our chosen aspects are Sol Invictus for sunspots and Roaring Flames for increased ability damage. Fun fact: with 3 stacks of Roaring Flames, your instant combusting grenades will begin to one-shot all non-shielded guardians, which I find, frankly, the highest form of comedy. We really want to lean in on the power of this grenade, so we are running Ember of Resolve for health on grenade kills, Solace for longer restorations from sunspots, Empyrean for even further duration extension, and Searing for fire sprites off of scorched targets. In hindsight, I would probably swap out Empyrean for Ember of Mercy, which grants restoration off of fire sprites as well as the tried and true duality instead of Lord of Wolves. For my primary, I'm running a simple 120 hand cannon with quick draw and snapshot because one headshot is a guaranteed kill from a following fusion splash. It's just such a shame that Lord of Wolves is so pathetic. 3 Doge coins out of 15 board apes. Shax once said, "I love warlocks. They're my favorite class." Maybe. Anyways, it's a bit shocking to me how powerful high-impact pulses continue to be. I bet my left Cabal pod that as soon as the Immortal gets put down like a mangy dog, we will see a high-impact pulse meta yet again. This build uses a messenger with Desperado and heating up with the Trespasser, an underloved monster of a sidearm and Crucible. Between these 2 weapons, we are able to comfortably cover any engagement space. But we always desire more destruction and hate mail, so we are combining them with the Getaway Artist for speed. With the more powerful Arc Soul active and the amplified buff buzzing in our skull like a sugar rush, we can tear through enemies with the unrepentant super burst from the Trespasser. And of course, if they get outside our range, we can perform a jazz chord progression in 3/4 time signature on enemy faces with a messenger. This build was given to me by my livestream, and didn't even specify its aspects, fragments, or perks, so just imagine what a little more thought could do to this build. Very impressive. Subscribe for more sponsored stupidity. Thank you for your support. I know we don't do PvP builds often anymore, so I hope you still find them worth your time. Bless your faces, and deuces.